We are live today with a special guest, Paula Denoncourt. Paula, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So today we are so excited, and I would like everyone who is watching us, please put in a chat and ask questions because Paula really wrote book recently, but it's not about the book. It's actually the value and experience and things that Paula went through life. So I would like to start, Paula, and ask, tell us a little bit, what do you do?
What do I do? I'm a health coach. So I've been a health coach. I started my business around 2010. I'm originally from Massachusetts. I moved to North Carolina a couple of years ago. And I help people stop suffering and pain. I myself suffered from multiple food allergies and almost died from it, which you'll read a little bit about that in the book. um, and yeah, I just, I hate seeing people suffer in pain. It's not necessary. And so I became a health coach because of what I suffered from.
Yeah, thank you. And a lot of times we have those experiences, and what I learned actually between 1.6 to 5.1%. U.S. citizens estimated to have anaphylactic reaction, and a lot of times, like hypersensitivity reaction and food and allergic reaction, it's really can be a very threatening condition. Tell us a little bit. I know it's a very sensitive topic, but what have you learned from all of this?
From having multiple food allergies?
Yes.
Yeah. What I've learned, well, when it first began, not a lot of people knew what to do with me. It was very hard to diagnose. I really had to help myself. I had to be an advocate for myself. Um, so that's what I would say I've learned. And I just learned how food can really heal the body. And I had no idea. I'll be honest with you. I had no idea about that. How foods, we have to look at foods at what it can do for you and not just against you. We always hear that sugar's bad and soda's bad and all these different things. Mm-hmm.
And another part of it is, you described that, you kind of help, people stop, having those, not only reactions, but also learn about food and allergy. But there is another part of this story. Can you tell us about your work experience? And I don't want to say the conditions where you were working, but can you tell a little bit and share about this?
Sure. So I worked in a prison for 22 years. I was a dispatcher. And it was very stressful. I wasn't always relieved all the time, even to go to the bathroom, which is crazy as that sounds. I know it's illegal, but we just didn't have the help, so they didn't really worry about it. Sometimes the officers would help, but sometimes, it would get busy. They'd run out the door as soon as it got busy, so they couldn't help. So it's just very stressful. We were the heart of the institution, so let me just paint that picture. Picture being in a little room, and being forced to stay all the time. So, you'd be there from 7 to 3, 3 to 11, and almost 11 to 7 by the time you got relieved.
Yeah, that's very difficult. And then what I learned that you said God saved you,
Uh-huh.
and what
Yeah.
you wrote about it. And can you show me your book, please,
Yes,
one more time? And
absolutely.
I
So
also
excited.
yes, yes, yes. Congratulations, congratulations. And
Yeah.
yeah, I want to encourage everyone, follow Paula and actually God saved me. And what does it say the lower below?
Can you see it?
Yes,
But
yes.
God, I'm still here.
I am still here. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I
And
mean, yeah, relating to multiple food allergies, I'll share one experience. You can read the book about other things, but one experience was I almost choked to death. I was choking for like 5 hours on a piece of chicken. And it's just a miracle that I didn't have brain damage or even die from it. I was in the ER for about 5 hours with a piece of chicken lodged in the middle of my throat. I have pictures of it to prove it. So,
So how did they
That's
let you
emergency
be,
surgery.
in emergency room for 5 hours? We know that every time we can't breathe, normally for the ambulance, when we even call 911, and, that's something that I do pretty much every day, we know that they need to arrive within 10 minutes, because every 1 minute and of course it's not heart stops, it's something we can
Right.
beat, but when a heart stops, every minute we lose 10%. So that's why it's like so crucial. Of course, we're not talking about the heart, but still, breathing is very, very difficult. So did they let you just lie down there for 5 hours?
I was in a little room and they kept coming in asking me questions. I was vomiting because my throat was closing up. They tried to I think they probably gave me an EpiPen, but it wasn't working because something was actually lodged in my throat. It wasn't just anaphylactic shock. So I believe, and they do too, that my body was just inflamed. I was diagnosed with something because as an EE doctor, you would probably know the name with it.
Mm-hmm.
Name of it. It's N something, and it's an autoimmune issue. Never knew it for 30 years. Yeah, just got diagnosed a couple of years ago. But
Yeah.
that's because my body was inflamed that the chicken didn't go down. I wasn't actually allergic to the chicken. It was just my body was inflamed. So I couldn't swallow it, which causes the food allergies. And I never knew. Yeah.
I'm very sorry to hear about that. And, like a combination of things between, food allergy and how you work in prison for 22 years as a dispatcher. This is scary. I can tell you that, I'm sure you were protected and there are rules and regulations and law. And I don't even know. I mean, I'm just making all this up. But all I can tell, how many of us actually go to work and be afraid? And I wonder if anyone in the audience actually, do you go to work, you afraid? And how have you ever had this feeling that you actually go to work and you're afraid?
Afraid or sick. Like, you could be stressed out to the max and you're still going to work, It brings on sickness. Are you going to work? You know what I mean? I was actually at work, and this is one tip that I will leave you with. Make sure if you are having issues that you're documenting it. This was one of my biggest mistakes. I didn't document anything. There were times that, I would have anaphylactic shock on the job and I would just pray about it. That's why I say God saved me more than once, more than 9 lives, like a cat, except more. So I just say, make sure you document it. Don't be afraid to go to the hospital and, all of that. My thinking in my head was, who the heck's going to do my job? Nobody else is here. So, somebody can always replace you. So, and they can't, so you don't want to be dead. So take care of yourself. Get it documented. That's
Right.
a big tip I definitely want to leave you with. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, document. And a lot of times I can tell that, we get sick and then we hide and we strong and we move on in during the day. And we just, do things so strong and we don't want to show that we are weak. But then also not documenting, for me also personally, like when I was sick and I had a reaction before actually from the vaccine. And, we doctors, we don't go to the doctors.
Right.
Sometimes, and you hold and you know how to take care. But now at some point I actually regret that I did not call and did not tell about this, because no documentation. So that's very valuable. So Paula, tell us a little bit, what did you write in your book about?
So I wrote about all the times that God has saved me. I never realized how many times. I'll just come right out and say it, but the enemy's been trying to take me out. I have a large calling on my life. I'm a prophetic vessel. For those of you that don't know what that means, it's being intuitive and just being in tune with God, and God just uses me. So the enemy doesn't like that. And I just never knew it growing up. So I just had a lot of near-death experiences. We'll just put it that way. I won't say them all because they're in the book. But yeah, and then, there's also amazing, amazing other stories in this book of people just being, of women being victorious, going from being a victim to a victor.
And what I learned from you, that you put learned to perceive things differently.
Yeah.
Our pain is our purpose. Can
Yes.
you elaborate a little bit about this?
Absolutely. I mean, if I didn't have multiple food allergies, I wouldn't have become a health coach. And I even, I even noticed it with some of the other inspirational stories in the book. These people, these women just overcame so many things. They became coaches themselves or healers themselves. So we can be a blessing and help others. One woman wrote, why, first of all, she said to God, why me? And God said, why not me? It's to use you to be a vessel to help somebody else. And so we have to look at what is the purpose behind our illnesses. Is it meant for you to help someone else? Is it meant for you to be a practitioner? Or maybe it's just meant for you to take some time and rest. Maybe during that time of rest, you're going to write a book and help somebody else through that book. We don't know, but God is using us. And that's what I would say is why I wrote the book.
Thank you very much. And can you tell 3 tips to our audience?
3 tips? Sure. So, like I said before, like you just said it, learn to perceive things differently. Like even in the jail, I changed jobs positions because of my health deteriorating. I went from dispatcher to administrative secretary, but I had to go back to dispatch for a few more years. So I learned to perceive it differently when I went back. I was helping the people around me. Did they hire me as a health coach? No. But they were listening to me. Every once in a while, I'd hear Sue say, gluten, it's like glue. Or, hey, Paula, why do I have a stomach ache right now? Well, because she combined all these wrong foods that weren't good for her. I think she had like milk and pizza. Doesn't go. Different things like that. So I learn to perceive things differently. Why did this happen to me? What is the purpose behind it? So other tips, I gave another one. Again, if you get ill, make sure you document it. The other tip I would definitely say is listen to your own body. Unfortunately, doctors really do mean well and everything else. They don't know everything. They just don't. But we know our own bodies. We know what we're going, and they don't have time to always listen to everything. Not their fault. They're given a certain allotted time to spend with you. So you have to take the time. You have to take the time to help yourself. Change your diet if you're not feeling well. These are red flags. Pay now or pay later. I went into debt trying to get well. So, take care of yourself. Start looking at food differently. What is it doing for me? So those are my tips. So for 3 good tips.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
also what I learned, that you talk in front of 90 nurses, alumni. What is
Yes.
it about?
Yep. Yeah, I would say that was one of my pivotal moments. It was really amazing. Yeah, it was 90 nurses alumni in Worcester, Massachusetts. And we talked about allergies, but not just allergies, like all different, not just food allergies, like all different allergies, seasonal, food, how it all relates. So it was a talk on allergies, and it was eye-opening for them because, medicine was their field. They just didn't know about all these different things with foods and the toxicity of the environment. Now it's a little bit more common. This was quite a few years ago to be talked about, but back then it wasn't. So it was really eye-opening for them. So that was one of my really exciting times and really pivotal moments. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you about this. So, Paula, and when we look at in life, and we examine ourselves, and we think, okay, we have to document, and we have to eat right, and we think a lot of times, oh, we have to pair food with wine, but nobody really think about pair your other food. So we learn pair food and wine, and I don't even drink wine. I don't even know why I brought this example. This is first sort of came, and why people, you think, not pairing food when we eat, why we think that it's okay to eat milk and sausage. Even my grandma said, you shouldn't be eating milk and sausage because you're going to have diarrhea.
Right. Well, because some people have stomachs that are like rocks. You know what I mean? They're fine. But not everybody. So like for me, certain food combinations would send me over the edge. One example was I ate wild rice one day because I was trying to think outside the box. When you have food allergies, you're trying to think of something else that you can eat that might not bother you. So it's like wild rice. It's not gluten. Well, I was like, what goes with wild rice? I had Brazilian nuts. It was too much. That combination of the nuts with the carbs, protein with a carb, was they digest at different times. I was in pain for hours because I was trying to digest that. So there is such a thing as proper food combining. If you have weak digestion, it's definitely going to affect you. So that's one thing I learned. I had no idea. A lot of people can go around having different, food combinations, but some people can't. Sue, the person I worked with, another time she had trail mix, but she had blueberries with the trail mix. The nuts and the berries just weren't a good mix. They tell you all the time, eat fruit and berries, right? I mean, berries and nuts. But for some, if your digestion is weak, they digest at different times, and it may be difficult. You might feel nuts in your stomach.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Paula. Is anything else you would like to add for our audience, and also tell, how they can connect with you, and other tips or things or last moment?
Yeah, sure. So, like we said, the book is here. It's on my website, enrichyourhealth.com, with inspirational stories, motivational stories, or you can reach me through that. I do one-on-one coaching, group coaching. I've got ebooks and recipe books on there as well. But, whatever you're going through, God's got you. And we just have to learn to turn to him. And, I think that's part of our problem. A lot of times we don't turn to him, and he's there. He's there to help us,
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much, Paula. And I just would like to emphasize that, things I learned about you, and, working in prison as a dispatcher for 22 years, and how much you learn. But also I would like to remind everyone that what I learned about Paula, that she really knows a lot from personal experience about digestive issues and autoimmune illness. So Paula loves teaching people how to back to basics on food choices by providing simple recipe guides and lifestyle tips. So Paula taught several classes and apparently been on a TV show. You didn't tell us about that.
What's that? Say that.
You were on TV show.
Yes, I have local TV show in Massachusetts. Yep, I did. And this is a TV show, The Doctor Connect. Yep, so I'm excited about that. So I've done, and I'm going to be doing another TV show coming up. I believe it's Kingdom Purpose TV. So yeah, just stay tuned for more TV shows. And, if you need a speaker, please let me know. And I thank you, Dr. Schaefer. I keep wanting to say Dr. Ludmila. That's your first name.
Okay. Some people call me Dr. Ludmila, Dr. Schaefer. It's all good. Thank you.
Thank you, because this wouldn't have come out without you. So I'm grateful for you and her story. Grateful for both of you. With Valentine's Day coming up, you're thinking of something to put in a little basket or bucket. This book is a great read for somebody sitting around who needs motivation, who needs inspiration. It, not only my own story, but everybody else's story inspired me tremendously. The things these women overcame. You've got to get this book in your hands. Absolutely.
Yeah. And also for everyone, I learned that you were a guest speaker for Central Mass Lyme Foundation, Bristol County Hope for Lyme, and the Breast Friends Connection, just to name a few.
Yes.
So,
yeah, I did talks for, I'm a Lyme disease advocate. I help people with autoimmune issues. I don't want to just label Lyme, because Lyme is related to lupus and MS and fibromyalgia and all different things. They may not be one and the same, but a lot of similar symptoms. So yeah, I've done talks for Lyme disease. And back in Massachusetts, I did talks for breast cancer, which seems to be coming back around quite a bit. So stay tuned for that. I think I'm going to be connecting with some women with breast cancer and try to help out with that. So reach out to me. If any of these are ringing a bell and you want to help, please reach out to me. Because I do more than just help people with their health. I'm a connector, a networker. I can help you connect with other people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, I so much enjoy speaking with you, Paula, and it's definitely been pleasure. So everyone connect and comment, and we'll make sure we available and stay tuned. So we'll be in touch soon. So thank you, Paula.
Thank you again, and I'm just excited about this is my first book, you guys. So
Yay!
I'm so thankful.
Thank you. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.